Shout out to the sponsors of this episode, Skims. Shop Skims Fits Everybody collection at skims.com and let them know we sent you by selecting Earn Your Happy in the dropdown after checkout. Airbnb, host your place on Airbnb. Find a co-host at airbnb.com/co-host. Shopify, the e-commerce platform I trust for Glōci. Start your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/happy. Headway, the #1 book summary app. Use code HAPPY for 25% off. And Brevo, head over to brevo.com/earn. Use code EARN to get 50% off starter and business plans for the first 3 months of annual subscriptions. And Blinds.com, save $50 off when you spend $500 or more. Go to Blinds.com and use code EARN at checkout.
By the time I launched, I had used all of my savings. I had maxed out all of my credit cards. I had no money to my name, so I was broke. So I couldn't pay for ads even if I wanted to. Making 6 TikToks a day was a necessity.
When you started this, it caught some viral attention, but I love your story because I think so many people do not realize what it actually takes for something to catch on. Hayley, welcome to the Earn Your Happy podcast.
Thanks for having me, Lori.
Well, I'm so excited to chat with you because #1, I love products. I love clothes. I love swimwear. I love spirituality. I love manifesting, and I love Shark Tank. You're the common denominator between all of those things that I just mentioned. So I'm excited to have you on and chat about your brand because you do have a really unique brand and it came out of a problem that you were solving. So let's start there. Then I'll kind of back up to what was happening before that.
Yeah. So to introduce myself, I'm Hayley. I'm the founder of OneWith. And that unique product that you're mentioning is swimsuits that fit like underwear. So in April of 2019, I was trying on a bunch of different swimsuits for an upcoming trip. And I literally said out loud, out of frustration, I just want a swimsuit that fits like no-show underwear does. Like if you know, you know. No-show underwear does not dig into your body. It just lays flat on top of your body like a second skin. So it can really create this like dissonance of being in no-show underwear, looking in the mirror, hopping on a swimsuit and being like, what just happened? Like something happened and it's so similar, but so different. So my product, OneWith, bridges that gap. So we took what makes no-show undies so flattering and made it swimmable. So, and the name comes from me saying out loud, I want it to feel one with my body. So that was the genesis moment.
Okay, so let's go back directly to that moment. Was it like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. I'm going to create this. Like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Or what were you doing before that? Was this like totally out of your element?
Yeah, it's funny because OneWith plays on so much of the little pieces of my background. But to answer your question, Lori, of like, did I know this was gonna be great? I did. I'd be lying to you if I was trying to be humble and I was like, I know that this will hit. I do. Otherwise I wouldn't have done it. Like I believed in it so wholeheartedly from that moment in 2019, like through now, obviously. And I just felt it like so strongly in my bones. But before that, I was on YouTube. So I had a content creation background and I worked in bridal. So I had like a little bit of like a fashion/intimates background too. So it was kind of like a blend of little bits of experience in my life.
So you have like you really understand like the problems that women struggle with when we are either in a dressing room, whether it was, like you said, in, bridal or whether it was swimwear. I mean, and you are a woman. And this was your exact problem. I feel like whenever we are looking for businesses to start, there is nothing like being able to speak to the exact core of the problem. And you're probably like, if I'm dealing with this and this is driving me crazy, there's no way it's not making other women crazy. And let me tell you, like, swimwear is a thing. Like, I don't care how great your body is, you can still feel self-conscious in it. And you're like, why does this not like fit the way I want it to fit? Or why don't I feel the way that I want to feel in this? So I love that you were solving your own problem and solving so many other women's problems. So I want to go back to the, so funny, like while it's 11:11 and I'm about to ask a manifesting question, literally, right?
I love it.
When you felt it, was it because you just like, you knew it was solving a big problem for people? like, what was that feeling in your body of like, this is going to work? Like, really explain that. And how did you really anchor that in?
Totally. So I'd like to think that I planted this seed for myself when I was like 5 years old, because from the time I was 5 years old, maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later, let's just say 5, I've felt in my bones that I would one day have a company / brand, like specifically a brand, like around a product. And I knew, again, from the time I was little, that I would know when the moment happened when I would think of that idea. Like I would know when I thought of the idea, I would know that it was the idea. In that moment, I knew it was the idea. Like, period, end of story. So I think maybe if I hadn't had that almost like innate belief that I was born with for whatever reason, I might have questioned myself a bit more. And I think I like what I did was I set an intention for myself, back in the year 1999 or whatever it was, and I had to wait, until 2019 for it to literally manifest into that light bulb moment. But I did. I knew it was the idea. And again, it was so arresting, Lori. Like it literally like made me freeze in my tracks when I said it out loud. And I'll just never forget that moment. I hope everyone in their life has a moment like that, because it just felt so, it overtook my body and my mind. And I literally have not stopped thinking about it from that day in 2019.
Okay, so you had set the intention for yourself years and years and years prior. Had anything in between that come close where you were like, is this it?
Yeah, like little like seedlings of like, okay, I'm going to text my sister about this idea. And if she thinks it's good, maybe I pursue this one. But I also kind of knew like, no, it's not it. Like I distinctly remember driving and being like, haven't thought of the idea yet. I know I will. I'm not going to pressure myself into it. But yeah, I had little like tiny ones, but I would let go of them in 2 days. Like it never lasted in my body longer than that. OneWith, I physically like couldn't shake it. I could not shake it.
When you started this, like it caught some viral attention, but I love your story because you were very persistent and consistent. So I want to talk about that, just how you kind of started creating content and what that looked like when you first started marketing. I think so many people do not realize what it actually takes for something to catch on. So can you share that story?
Yeah. So my background is content, right? So I did have that as a competitive advantage. I know a lot of people, when they think of an idea, one of their stopping like friction points is, I don't want to be on camera. I'm stuck at social media. I won't be able to market this. So to that, I say either like make it your mission to learn and convince yourself to like it until you can hire someone, or hire someone, right? Like that's what I would say. But I really started making videos, like TikTok videos, out of necessity. I had always told myself, again, before I knew what the idea was, I knew that like when it did come to be, I could just make Facebook ads and that's how I would sell my product, right? But by the time I launched, I had used all of my savings. I had maxed out all of my credit cards. I had no money to my name. So I was broke. So I couldn't pay for ads even if I wanted to. So making 6 TikToks a day was a necessity and it paid off. It paid dividends. But yeah, I just was like, this has to happen. And so the marketing, virality moment really came from just, to your point, consistency, like literally not letting it go, every day posting a ton of TikToks and literally hoping and feeling that one of them would pop off. And that's what happened.
So if somebody was starting a brand right now, what would you tell them? Whether it was clothing, whether it was supplements, whether it was, skincare, beauty, whatever, what would you say, like if they did not have the marketing dollars, what's the first plan for them?
I would say definitely focus on organic content. And again, a lot of people, like if you can't hire out right away, tell yourself 6 months, I'm going to really not enjoy this. This is going to be really hard. This is not natural to me, but I am going to spend, from the time I get home at 6 o'clock at night to 9 p.m. watching videos about editing and InShot and CapCut and looking at trending audios and scrolling through my For You page and really understanding what's going on and how brands are doing it and knowing like the goal is to offload this, right? The goal is to offload this because I think now in 2025, you can't have a product without content. Someone has to make that content. And again, like it might have to be you for a time. And it also helps, even if you do offload it to someone, ultimately, you need to know how to give that directive and like have a semblance of what's going on. So you literally can't lose in teaching yourself the basics of how to market on social, period.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I have a brand as well. So it's a beauty supplement, and truly, like, like, I am just starting to really ramp up content, but that's the best advice on earth, because you're always either having to pay for marketing, borrow someone else's audience, or figure it out yourself. And figure it out yourself, yes, it's like one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Like, truly, I am in it. Like, the resistance is so high. And I'm even a content girly. I have been for years.
Yes.
But the level that it is going to take, like, this is like, you know how things happen at the perfect time? I'm like, this is the perfect conversation for me. So I hope it's hitting everybody, because I think the awareness of like your, 3 to 6 posts a day, like if we feel it in our bones that this brand is going to come out into the world, then yeah, it's going to feel like we're birthing something daily, like
Yes,
pushing it out of our bodies.
Yes, it's true. And again, like to your point, like the resistance, and we are both content girlies and we still have that. Like,
Yeah, it's bad.
I still have it, And I also think, Lori, too, like in terms of advice for people listening, if you are listening to this and hearing me say, like, you have to make content, you have to do the 3 to 6 posts a day, whatever it is, and you're like, I don't know if I can do that, I really almost question, like, are you passionate enough about the idea? Because if someone came in here right now and said, you have to learn how to code the back end of your website for OneWith to stay afloat, I'd be at the library. You have to make sure that you pass all these tests, because your business will test you, as you know, like left and right. And you have to like literally give yourself a litmus test of, will I do this for this thing that I supposedly love so much, and if I'm so passionate about? And if the answer is yes, that's your answer.
Yeah. And honestly, someone else is going to be doing it in your category, like, and they're going to surpass you. And I'm not saying it's not, I don't even put myself in the race, like I have to beat these people, but the awareness of people are going to beat you to the forefront of that message. And speed is important, especially with something like what you were doing, like really creating something that was breakthrough in the category that doesn't cut into your body. And it's important for what I'm doing too, while this category is just really starting out, is to be the person when they think of this new thing, that you're the name that they think of, rather than someone else, as becoming that habit or that go-to brand.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you, Lori, like how scared I was to be on social media before I had launched OneWith, because I was so afraid I was going to open up my phone and see someone did this before I did. That was like my biggest fear. When I saw Skims it wasn't called Skims at the time. If anybody remembers that, it was first called Kimono. And
That's right. Yeah.
You remember that? Like, I remember it only because I saw it. Yeah, literally one day. I saw it and I was so scared. I was like, what if it's swimsuits that fit like underwear? Like literally. And I was just like waiting, like literally white knuckling for them to come out with their first like line sheet or whatever, so I could see it wasn't. But yeah, I would like, don't let that be you. Don't let that, fear consume you of like, oh my gosh, someone is going to do this before me because I haven't actioned it yet. Because that was me for a year and a half, between thinking of the idea and launch. It was 2.5 years. I think I've said that twice today, that it was a year and a half. It was 2.5 years, I think. Yeah, April 2019, I launched in November of 2021. So 2.5 years, I'm like scared to see anything swimsuit related on social media.
How long did it take for you to go from idea, sketch on paper, knowing kind of like what you wanted, to having physical product in hand?
I would say from that point, probably 6 to not. Well, are we talking like the product is here and it's ready to sell, or like I get my first sample?
First sample,
maybe 3 to 6 months, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty fast. And then how long to sell?
That was the tricky.
Tell me about it. Trust me, mine went haywire.
It was so crazy. So I don't know. When did you start Glōci?
Well, technically it was a different company and I pivoted, but I started raising money in 2020, but had to pivot, throw out the first idea, start something separate. So it was probably a year and a half from the actual idea of Glōci sale.
Okay. So we're in a similar time frame though. Like, so I started talking with factories in 2020 and people always think like, oh, was it COVID that made it take so long? And I was like, no, it's the fact that we are so small. The factories just didn't take us seriously and would keep bumping us on the production line. So I'd wake up to emails at 5 a.m. being like, yeah, remember how we said you'd get your product in July? You're not anymore. It's September. And you know what I mean? It was just like constant.
Oh, yeah.
Like a year. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what made you stay patient during that? Were you working somewhere else at the same time? Like, how were you funding your life?
I was still
project.
Yeah, I was still doing content, which, you know, was helpful, but like it was not easy. It was.
Were you like getting paid from brands?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had a YouTube channel. I don't have one anymore. I just kind of like stopped identifying. I was Hayley the founder and not Hayley YouTuber anymore. So it just didn't feel natural, you know?
Okay.
But I did it for a really long time. But yeah, so I supported myself that way. I was doing like gigs on the side, like literally any way that I could. I was so scrappy, just funding everything. I also did get a $15,000 grant from my alma mater. I got accepted into one of their accelerator programs.
Amazing.
That was super helpful. Like anyone listening, go and look at the entrepreneurial initiatives that your alma mater does. Fortunately, I went to UConn here in Connecticut and they have an amazing entrepreneurial program, like even, you know, after you graduate. But you'd be surprised. Like there might be initiatives like right under your nose, you know, in terms of like money you can get and support you can get. So that was wonderful. But yeah, so that was a really big help. That $15,000 chunk allowed me to hire a technical designer. So that was super, super helpful. So it was a combo of that and basically me just maxing out my credit cards.
Okay, so we've talked about the super tactical, actionable from the beginning of you were like, I'm just going to go hard with the content. Like that's how this is going to get out.
Yeah.
So I love that you are so insanely actionable, but also, you know, I had asked you before this, what's something that you would love to talk about? And you're like, well, I'm really spiritual. Like I'm pretty woo. I'm like, great. This just got so much better for me because I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know, what are some of the things that you have done and that you also currently do to kind of like visualize your business, move it along, think really big picture, think as big as you have. How do you keep that in the forefront? And you guys, I also want you to be remembering that she just told us she was posting like 3 to 6 times per day. So that's a big piece of it too.
Yeah.
But tell me about what you do on the daily.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, we'll start macro. Like every year I do a vision board and it's really specific. And if I don't have pictures of exactly what I want to manifest, I make them. Like I didn't have, for some reason, there's no visual online of a utility patent being granted, like the actual like granted mark, which I made up. So I like doctored one on Canva and put it on my mood board, you know, got my patent granted last week after 4.5 years, Lori, 4.5 years. So finally. So I'll do a mood board, or excuse me, like a vision board every year. I'm really into visualization. I visualize every morning. I have my red light mask on my acupressure mat, and I just close my eyes and I visualize an outcome for myself. It can be a big one. It can be an outcome for that day. And then I'll also do like my self-talk and Esther Hicks style manifestation sort of like prompts, if you will. So the one that I love is, wouldn't it be nice if? And the reason that they say that one works so well is because your body has no resistance to it. If you say like, I'm tapping the way that I do, but like if you're tapping and you say like, I'm going to get $1 million today, like that feels so out of reach, right? Like if you say, wouldn't it be nice if I got $1 million today? There's something that happens energetically there that I think allows it to flow freer. So I do that. Like when I was prepping for Shark Tank, I would go on walks and put my earphones in and play the Shark Tank theme song and picture walking out, like things like that. And I'm also super careful with my language and what I consume. So making sure that it's really positive and lends me to the outcome that I want. So those are just kind of like daily habits, I would say, that I have that, help me to my goal alongside action always, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you not consuming that you think most people are that you actually think holds them back?
I have a big one.
Okay.
True crime.
Okay. Oh, girl, we're going to get on a pulpit together. I even have friends who are like really like they're crushing it, but they're doing that. And I'm like, but it's also making you depressed and anxious. And you just told me that you're blocking a blessing because you're doing it. Okay, go off because I can't.
Yeah. So like, I just think I don't love the concept of glamorizing or consuming other people's misfortune. Like I don't want to call it misfortune. That is like not even the right. It's so beyond that. Yeah. And I started to feel it like in my body. And I was like, I just don't think for whatever reason this aligns with my desired outcome. I grew up my entire family in law enforcement, so I would see these situations playing out, and it was the reality for so many people that I knew. It became really uncomfortable to consume things like that, and even like really dark music in the morning. Like I'm a moody Lana Del Rey lover, but I have to make sure like the songs that I decide to play and stuff like that in the morning align with my intentions for that day and the words that I speak out loud, like, when I'm singing along to songs and stuff like that, like everything. And this isn't to knock anyone that consumes this stuff. I just found for me personally, in terms of like, okay, here's where I want to go. This stuff upon consumption of it started to feel really icky in my body when I think about me getting to an end goal.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I think whenever you're lowering your vibration, which I don't know anyone who's listening to like a true crime or music that's a little, I don't know, that can be super dark, moody or whatever. I mean, I grew up like, my teenage guy friends were like Slipknot people. And I remember like, this is like literally energetically messing with me so bad. And I knew that at like a really young age. And, our vibration is truly what people feel. If all else, you guys, if you don't believe that it's like magnetizing for what you want, like people feel the energy that you walk in the room with. Mm-hmm. So I am so focused as well. Like when I get on a podcast, like I'm like, okay, I want to make sure my energy's up, that it feels good for the other person when I'm walking, into a new room with people, because I just think people want to work with people who they feel that like very high vibe, enthusiasm, like excited about life, very tuned in, like it's magnetizing. And I'm positive that that is why people felt it with you through social media. Is you probably just like, well, I know how you come off. I saw a lot of your stuff, and it's very like high frequency. You're very excited about the brand. You're very tuned in. You're very tapped into it. It's like who you are. And so you're able to just like, preach that through your body. Like you need that. Yeah. You're going to love this. All of that stuff that you just mentioned is like, people feel that it's so affected right down to how are you going into creating social media? Do you need a vibe check? Do you need a little prayer? Do you need a little meditation and visualization that no matter what happens with this video, you know what I mean? You should be doing this and it's going to be great for the brand. Exactly. It's like being a founder is an eternal attitude adjustment every hour, like every hour.
That's the best way to say it. Yes, it is. And it's like, like I said, it tests you in every capacity. And not only does it test you, but you also have to bounce back from that test. You can't like wallow. You can't, so it's an attitude adjustment every day, every hour, all day. But it really does. It's very cool, I think, to look back and be like, wow, I wouldn't have been able to handle this a year ago.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah. It is
the
the best.
best moment when I'm like, holy shit, like the old me would have just crumbled. Like I'm so proud of the woman I've become through the freaking fires.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and that's how I feel. I'd be like, the old me would just cease to exist. I don't even know. Like just completely shut down. And it's just really, really rewarding, I think.
And it only happens, like we only get to be this version of ourselves from the hard stuff,
Yes.
you know?
It was not the easy stuff that, created this version of me.
No, it's not the wins. Those are just like, woohoo, yay. Tell me about some of the biggest challenges that you've had.
There's so much, like there really, really is. I don't know where to begin. Yeah, being broke, my credit card declining at a gas station, paying for a toothbrush, like things like that. Amidst everything like going on and trying to build a business. Like I've had personal health setbacks, family health setbacks, like major problems going on behind the scenes, like with the business or, nothing like, I don't want to be like too cagey, but like we have a production issue happen that costs 6 figures, like things like that. There's always stuff going on, that forces me to tap into a new side of me, learn a new skill set. It's hard. Like it's really, really hard. And honestly, just like the output too, that it requires of you and what that can do if you're not careful, can really debit your energy and mind, body, spirit.
Tell me about that. Cause there's this spot where like, it's so funny because, when you get so into manifestation and personal development, you can almost like personal development yourself too much.
Know what you're going to say. Yeah. And it's like, this is when people are like, name a failure. And I'm like, I can't say a failure because I've learned. And that's so corny, but it's like, they all get netted out in my mind.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because you've learned from it. You're like, it's hard for me to say it was a failure because it gave me something that I needed, and it turned me into the person that I needed to be. And some of those for me too have been big, like 6-figure, like, oh my gosh, this really sucks. Big monetary pings that you have lost or something happened. And it's like, you wouldn't wish those on anyone, but I have this weird thing that I know you'll get that like, you would never wish the darkest moments upon your bestest of friends, but also, that they need them in order to become who they see in their head.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't wish them away. And I can't sit on here on this podcast and be like, oh gosh, hopefully that doesn't happen to you. It's going to happen. And you actually don't need to dread it, believe it or not. Because when it happens, it's like, as long as you have, like, if you hopefully have one person that you can chat with or talk to, and if not, you'll go and find that person, you'll create it, you'll reach out, and maybe that's the reason you finally end up reaching out and make an entrepreneurial friend who can support you. Like, there's gonna be huge reasons for it, and you're gonna get through it. Because I think it's easy to feel like things are the end of the world. And that's one conversation that I want to bring to more women is like, if you lose money, if you disappoint investors, if something goes terribly wrong, if you disappoint people, like it's not the end of the world. It's actually just all how business goes. And I had some really like crappy stuff happen in the pivot of transitioning into the new company. And I got into such a dark place. Like, I don't ever want a woman to get to that dark of a place where I felt so alone, so isolated, and like I'd let everybody down. I had lost money, and it was like devastating. And so I hope these conversations like bring to light to people, guys, it is not the end of the world. Like, you will come back from everything. You will learn from everything. Don't sit in so much resistance over the fear that you never get started or that you get stuck or that you start making decisions from fear, because that's when your company starts to go downhill. Like, worrying about other people's.
Yes.
How do you stay in tune with yourself, your choices, stay out of all the opinions and everything that's going on in the world?
I think there was a while where I was really listening to people, and it was when my business was not doing well. It's like, it was in the early days. And then kind of one day I came home from like a pitch competition or something like that. And I just was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I am not taking calls with people who have advice for me. Like, I am not going to networking events. I am not doing pitch competitions. I am shutting all of this down and seeing what happens if I go inward. And that's when my business exploded. I'm not saying that like I am the key to the all-knowing. I'm just saying what can happen when you put your blinders on and, you know, create yeses from saying no to a lot, you know, is really like an unmatched experience. Like all of the unlocks in my life, I feel like have come from me waiting things out, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I resonate with that so hard.
Ladies, I have to share this because it is too good to keep to myself. Bras and underwear have always been a bit of a struggle for me. It's hard for me to find something that I absolutely love. And it feels like when I do, they're discontinued or I can never find in my size. They either dig in, they roll, they scrunch up, or just feel uncomfortable halfway through the day. I wear a lot of white. I wear a lot of form-fitting clothing. And so I hate the fact that you can either see your intimates or they roll or they just don't look right. And I honestly thought that this is just how it was until Skims. You guys, I finally tried the Fits Everybody collection and I am literally blown away. Like, I thought they would be good, but I had no idea they would be freaking amazing. The material is unreal. It's buttery soft. It's breathable. It molds to my body like a second skin. It's sexy. It's literally the best fit in fabric I have ever worn in my life. And I got the Fits Everybody triangle bralette, the thong and the dipped front thong. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I am obsessed. The bralette gives me the support I want without ever feeling like I have really anything on. The thong doesn't roll up or bunch, and the dipped front style is so flattering and comfortable. I forget that you even have it on. And you guys, I will never go back now. I'm going to replace everything in my drawer with Skims. I'm obsessed with the material. I'm obsessed with the color. And if you ever struggled with intimates that don't feel right, I promise you, this is the solution. The comfort, the fit, the feel, Skims nailed it. Shop Skims Fits Everybody collection now at skims.com. And after you place your order, let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to choose Earn Your Happy in the drop-down menu. And yes, you guys, this is an ad, but I am literally obsessed. This is the brand I wear and that I'm replacing everything with. You know, when I first started my business, it felt like I had to learn every single role overnight. Designer, marketer, accountant, tech support, you name it. It was so overwhelming and frustrating. I didn't actually know if I'd be able to do it. And even when I started Glōci, I remember the early days of figuring out packaging, shipping, building a website, and doing this all for e-commerce, which I was not used to, and trying to make it all look beautiful without losing my mind. I kept thinking, I wish I had a partner in this. And that's why I always tell people now, if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, 10% of all e-commerce in the US. We're talking household names like Mattel, Gymshark, to brands that are just getting started, and also Glōci. So with Shopify, you can get started with your own design studio, hundreds of ready-to-use templates, help you build a gorgeous store that matches your brand style, accelerate your content creation with built-in AI tools that can write product descriptions, headlines, and even enhance your product photography. Get the word out like you've got a marketing team behind you. Shopify makes it easy to create email and social campaigns so you can show up wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert, helping with everything from inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. So turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/happy. That's shopify.com/happy. Shopify.com/happy.
Are you ready to take your business marketing to the next level? Meet Brevo, the all-in-one marketing and CRM platform built to help you connect with your customers, boost engagement, and grow your business smarter. With Brevo, you can manage all your customer interactions in one place, nurture leads with their built-in CRM, reach your audience through email and SMS, and keep them coming back with powerful automations. But here's where it gets really exciting. Meet Aura, Brevo's AI assistant. Aura helps you craft smarter campaigns by suggesting personalized content, optimizing send times, and even analyzing performance data to help you improve your strategy in real time. It's like having a marketing expert on your team 24/7. And of course, Brevo offers advanced analytics, seamless integrations, and AI-driven personalization. Everything you need to create multi-channel campaigns that hit the mark every single time. Get started for free today or use code HAPPY to save 50% on starter and business plans for the first 3 months of an annual subscription. Just head to www.brevo.com/happy and take your marketing further with Brevo and Aura. I've had that a couple different, I've pivoted a few times in my career throughout my whole life. And I think the times where it really took off and things worked, I turned out the outside noise. And right down to, I used to compete in fitness competitions years ago. And it was like the first year that I decided to not go kind of do the whole thing beforehand that they do, the mingling,
yes,
where you get in your head, where you compare yourself to the other people there. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stay in my room and I'm going to send positive juju to all these people. And I'm going to focus on what I want to focus on. And that year I literally set records in that category because I was like, I'm staying in my own lane. I'm going to make my energy only beautiful energy for anyone I encounter on stage or in the audience, but I am pulling it all back because I was just noticing we're leaking, you guys. We're just leaking our energy. We're leaking our ideas. We're giving away our power. We're feeling so insecure. Whatever is making you feel that way, so unsure of yourself over and over again, you almost need to stay away from all of it. And like you said, just for a little while, not making any of those people bad. It's because you are too willing to give it away at that point. So it's how do we get it back? And I really do think it's meditating, listening, praying, sitting. What do you like? What are you excited about? What I'm in that space right now, even for what's my next product? And it's so easy to go, well, what's going on out there? You know what I mean? What's happening? What's trending? And I need to turn it all down.
Totally. Yeah. And just really set the intention again, like you said, next product, and be ask the universe to show you a sign that'll make you think of what that next idea is. But yeah, stillness, Lori, I think is so important. A lot of times, if I need to conceptualize a product, a rollout, how we handle a really complex situation, I will book a massage because it makes me put my phone in another room, makes me close my eyes, and keeps me semi-awake, obviously, but puts me in such a zen, receptive state.
This is a great idea because I really think a lot during them, but I don't know if I've set an intention for that. I think
okay, you should. Yeah, go in and be I am here to think of how I'm rolling out this. And again, it's not some people would be oh no, you should really use that time for it to be restorative and do nothing except, zen out. And it's no, I'm zen. And that's why things are coming to me so easily. And it's not a think tanking, massage session. Things literally just flow.
Same. No, yes. Okay, great. Thank you for this advice. We're definitely going to do that. Cause I'm I don't feel sitting and meditating for long periods right now at this point in my life, which is probably exactly what I need, but that would be a good way to get me into it. Okay. I want to touch on Shark Tank a little bit, not because I feel a million people are going to try to go on Shark Tank who are listening to this, but because Shark Tank just represents a very, very large moment for your brand. It represents I have to get my shit together. I need to make sure I'm on point. I need to really be the representative of this and hold my own around people who are going to push back. Yeah. So tell me what the journey of that looked like from just how did you get on and then how did you prep?
Yeah. So I always told myself I was not the type of person that should go on Shark Tank. I just thought that I would go in there and no pun intended, I'd become shark bait. I really would. I really think I just saw them seeing me walking down into the tank and then being oh no, you know what I mean? That's literally what I had in my head. I'm just there's no way that this will go over well. You know, I saw that, and I think I was especially really hypersensitive when I would watch the show and see like solo female entrepreneurs in the tank and like how that could go. And I just was so scared. Like I was so scared. So I told myself like, Hayley, you should not do that show. Like people would say, oh,
I'm nervous thinking about it. Like you have to let me, like, I'm nervous. Okay, keep going. Okay.
I still get nervous, Laura. I was on the show and I don't know, like I still get nervous. I do. It's gone. I filmed almost a year ago. Like I still get anxious about it. And yeah, so I told myself that for a long time. And then, you know, people would always say to me, like, you know, you should go on Shark Tank. My grandpa used to say to me before I even had a business idea, he used to say, you should be on that show, which was like so sweet. And I didn't understand it at the time. But so fast forward, eventually, like I was on a founders club call. I'm a part of this club called the Founders Club. And there was a call that they did with all of the people in the club that had been on either Dragon's Den, which is the Canadian version of Shark Tank, or Shark Tank, what I'll call Shark Tank proper US, even though we stole it, I think, from Canada. But yeah, and I listened to all these people talk about their experience. And I asked that question of like, I think I'm just going to go in there and be shark bait. And his name is Kalai, I'm going to butcher it, from Shred Skins, was saying like, you just have to go in and do you. Like literally just be so authentically yourself, which I know is like very trite advice, but I, for a while, was like, when I go in there, I'm going to have to just like manufacture what they want to see, you know? And that was the first time I was like, maybe I could just like be me and go into the tank. So I applied right then and there after watching this call. And about a month later, I got a call back from casting. And you apply thinking you're never going to hear anything again. You know, like you just throw it out into the ether. And it's a very simple application. It's all the paperwork that comes after that's very intense. But you know, it took me 30 seconds to apply, and they reached out to me. And then basically from that moment on, I was in touch with casting and production, and it gets really intense, and you're on weekly calls with them if you advance, obviously. And they tell you at every single stage, you can get cut at any time. Anytime. You can make it to LA and get cut. So it is, yeah, it's so high stakes, so high pressure, so anxiety inducing the entire time. But I had to do so much work on myself to change that narrative, Lori, of like me telling myself I shouldn't be on that show because I'm like a liability to be in the tank. You know what I mean? To believing that I'm the perfect person to be on that show. Like I had to do so much tapping, rewiring, telling myself a new story. And, you know, ultimately it worked out really, really well. But I believe that had I not done all that work and just gone in with my old mindset, it would be a totally different outcome.
So it worked out really, really well. Like we're going to talk about that in a second. But for anyone listening who's like, okay, she rewired, she, you know, did the things. I know you're removed from it a little now because you haven't done it in a while. But if you could take us back to like, what were the things you were saying during the tapping session? Like, what was the old story? And then what were you rewiring with?
Yeah. So another really good tip with this is, and I got this from your Manifesting Bestie podcast, but she talks about choosing like your favorite song, like something that is already committed in your mind, and changing the words to it to being like your manifestation.
Wow.
I'll give you an example. This is so corny.
No, this is stuff that works.
It works. Like, so after I filmed Shark Tank, and I'm getting back to the whole like changing my story, but I just feel like with your audience, I want to give the tips that I feel like really helped me. But after I filmed Shark Tank, you don't know if it's going to air. You can go through the whole process. You can get a deal and have it potentially not air. So I used to sing to myself, like, I'm going to love how it feels when Shark Tank airs, to the tune of No Air by Jordan Sparks.
Okay. We love this.
Every day. Just every day, Lori was singing that version of No Air that I made myself. I like refuse to sing it out like it's done. I put it in a box, it's gone. But that really worked so well. There were up ones I had too, but like that's an easy one. But yeah, I was literally like tapping, saying, I am exactly the type of person that should be on this show. My entire life has prepared me to be on this show. They are going to love me in the tank. There is no other outcome other than me getting a deal. Like I remember my mom and I got to JFK to fly out to LA to film. And my mom goes, well, what happens if you don't get a deal? And I was like, well, that's not going to happen. And don't
Like, get that out of my bubble, mom.
yeah. Like, but it was like, but don't say that. Like, maybe I was so intentional and so careful with my words and my thoughts about myself. And it doesn't mean that I wouldn't like picture me bombing. I was so scared of that. But I also just like prepped so much spiritually, emotionally, mentally, in addition with like physically, listening to myself on tape, doing my pitch 1,000 times. Like I paired those two sort of like modalities of physical practice of this undying like faith that I could create this amazing experience for myself.
I'm kind of getting teary because I'm thinking about that version of you. And then I watched the episode and I know what happened and we'll talk about that. But I'm like, holy shit, like you're bringing me back to those moments in my life when you're so in it that success is inevitable in your mind because you've wired it that way. And so when it actually happens, it like when you have a moment outside of that, like it brings you to your knees to see it come together exactly as it should. So tell me about like the moment, you're finding out what's happening. Tell me who the sharks are and how you feel on the other side.
Yeah. So I had found out that Kern Lima was going to be on my guest shark panel. They told me from the jump that I was likely going to have a guest shark because of when they knew I was filming. But I found out
guest shark of all time. Yes.
I literally, the second I found out who it was, I was like, again, and with my whole manifestation thing, I'm like, everything is working in my favor. Like Jamie would be so perfect. I wrote it down in my phone. I will get a deal with Kern Lima. Like literally wrote it down and it happened. So yeah, but again, like the second I heard it, I was like, Shark Tank is conspiring for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything is going exactly as it should. And so I found out Jamie was going to be the guest shark and I knew Barbara was going to be on the panel. Mark Cuban was going to be on the panel. Lori Grenier. And why am I forgetting? Oh, of course, Mr. Wonderful. Yes. And yeah, so I was like, okay, like I feel really good about this. I feel really, really good. And I walked in and first of all, let me just say all of this prep work and stuff like that did not make me immune to being the most nervous I've ever been ever. I was shaking, like I physically couldn't eat. I was doing deep breathing, like exercises every 2 seconds. The camera guys saw how nervous I was, like, and were like saying really nice things to me and helping me breathe. Like I was so nervous. And then the second the doors opened and I just like walked out because they count you in, obviously, I just like was like, it's showtime. I'm just literally leaving all of this like behind me. And I, did my thing in the tank and walked out with a deal with Barbara and Jamie. And like, I mean, it played out on the show, but I thought I was going to faint and I didn't believe it. And I really just was like, this was everything. This was every best possible scenario playing out.
Wow.
In real time.
Wow. Were you out of body while it was happening or were you just like, oh my God, this is insane? Or were you like fully expectant of that?
One of the most stressful things about moving into a new home is all the little details you don't think about at first, like window treatments. In our last home, I used blinds.com for our blinds and our curtains, and it was honestly such a seamless experience. They sent me samples super fast. They helped me choose what would look best, and the turnaround time was fast. Thank God, because our windows weren't covered. Everything was easy, beautiful, and done without the headache that I expected. That's why I'm so excited to share blinds.com with you, because they've truly reinvented the way we shop for custom window treatments. So maybe you even just want to upgrade what you have right now. There's no more waiting around all day for an in-home designer just to get an overpriced quote. So with blinds.com, you can shop 100% online or get expert advice through virtual design consultations all on your schedule. Whether you know exactly what you want or you need help deciding, blinds.com makes it simple. You can do it yourself or you can let their pros handle everything from measure to install. Either way, you'll have experts by your side every step. And you'll get the same designer look that you see in a showroom without the showroom prices. Plus, they've got so much more than blinds. Think bamboo shades, shutters, even outdoor patio shades. And every order is backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. With 29 years in business and over 25 million windows covered, They're the #1 online retailer for a reason. Right now, Blinds.com is giving our listeners an exclusive $50 off when you spend $500 or more. Just use code EARN at checkout. Limited time offer, rules and restrictions apply. See Blinds.com for details. You guys have to try Headway. Headway is a daily growth platform. It's a beautifully designed app that gives you bite-sized insights from the world's best nonfiction books in just 15-minute summaries, which is amazing because I have hundreds of books that I would love to read and I'm never going to make it through with my busy schedule. And these are available in both read and audio formats with nearly 2,000 titles across 30 plus categories from productivity and happiness to money and more. Headway makes it simple to keep learning even on your commute, during breaks. I love listening to it while I put my makeup on in the morning or between meetings. You'll find crowd favorites like Present Over Perfect, The Mountain Is You, Own Your Everyday, and Think Like an Entrepreneur, Act Like a CEO. Here's why millions of people love it: because it's personalized recommendations that align with your goals, progress tracking and gentle encouragement to stay consistent, an award-winning design that makes growth enjoyable. It's trusted globally with 50 million downloads and over 2 million monthly users, recognized as the #1 education app on the US App Store and often featured as Apple's app of the day. You guys, people love it for a reason. Whether you're building your dream business, working on relationships, or just want more emotional clarity, Headway gives you the right wisdom at the right time. So if you're ready for growth that feels good, start today. Grow your way the Headway. Go to makeheadway.com/happy and use promo code HAPPY for 25% off your subscription. That's makeheadway.com/happy. Use promo code HAPPY. One of my favorite places in the entire world is Paris. I swear I'm already mentally planning my next trip back there. So last year, after hosting a mastermind in Italy, Chris and I had to sneak over to France for a few days because while you're already in Europe, how can you not? We did a river cruise, which is one of my favorite ways to see the city. The views of the Eiffel Tower from the water are so freaking dreamy. And of course, I had to stop at every little cafe for a croissant, or should I say a croissant, and cappuccino. One of my favorite things to do when we travel is just wander without an agenda. Like, just get lost in the streets and go wherever the wind takes you. Some of the best inspiration hits me when I'm exploring somewhere new with zero expectations and total white space in my calendar. Paris is so special to us. We've even talked about living there someday for a short period of time, or maybe a long period. I don't know. If you've got the travel bug like I do, you've probably stayed in a bunch of Airbnbs, but have you ever thought about hosting your own home on Airbnb to make it more affordable for yourself? So while you're out traveling, your home could be working for you. It's such a great way to make some extra cash to put towards your future bucket list trips like Paris. And your home might be worth more than you think. So you can find out how much at airbnb.com/host.
I was not fully I can't say expectant of it, but I was hopeful. I just told myself it's going to play out exactly as it's meant to. But again, prepping my mind with the best possible outcome. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I always say when I look at pictures of me in the tank or, me and Barbara at her retreat that happened back in April, I'm just I so wish I could go back in time and show that picture to myself, before I was about to walk out. But of course, I needed those nerves to be able to perform the way that I did. But yeah, it's this weird, being so in your body, but so out of body, and so hoping that outcome to happen, but also the fear so deep within me that it wouldn't, it's all this insane combo of things happening at one time.
Mm-hmm. Did it change your business? How do you feel about it as a whole?
I think for so long, I struggled in conversation when I was, telling people what I did or whatever, or in a room with other e-com founders. I struggled to be able to put words to no, what I'm doing is really legit. It's really cool. I promise, that sort of a thing. And the second, obviously, I could start saying we were just on Shark Tank, or, we got a deal on Shark Tank. It made me feel this sense of accomplishment. And in saying those few words, it's people knew that I was cooking up something good, So I think that's actually been the most gratifying piece of it, is a internal nod to myself and acknowledgement to myself of and externally as well. Like this is a seal of approval, or, a piece of social proof for my business that means so much. But yeah, it absolutely has changed my business, and it's changed me as a founder and a person. And it's just incredible. Like, I really can't, people ask me what the experience was like. I say everything you think it is. Like, it's so high pressure. It's so high stakes. It's scary, but it's also amazing. And it's like the epitome of the American dream. It really is. And I'm just so fortunate, so grateful. I don't want to say fortunate. I want to say like grateful to have been on that show.
Wow. I literally can't imagine. I feel like I'm like, what's the closest thing to that outside of like competing? But I did a TED Talk. I feel like that was
Yeah.
but I didn't have those people sitting in my front row. So
with TED Talk, so question about TED Talks.
Yeah.
Do you have to memorize?
Yes. Every word.
You do.
Mm-hmm. You really need to, because you have to be concise, like down to the minute.
How did you memorize it?
Okay. So this is great. I did not think I'd be able to memorize anything like that ever.
Yeah.
So that was like my deepest fear. Like, I didn't graduate high school. I was like, oh my God, I'll never be able to do this. Like, that was just a fear, right? Like, I'm not smart enough to do it. That all came back to me like when I was doing this, because it's a 20-minute talk. It was 18 minutes. And I was listening to Elizabeth Gilbert. Do you know who that is? She wrote Big Magic. She was like an author.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about, she did a talk for Oprah, and she was like, okay, doing a talk for Oprah is not the time that you like wing it and you don't memorize it. She's like, was talking about her journey of memorization right around the time I needed to memorize, which is crazy.
Amazing.
And so she said, the best way to do it is to walk it into your body, like walk while you're doing it. And you don't want to memorize too far out. You only want to memorize within a week. So you want to know the talk, but within a week, you only want to memorize it. Otherwise, you can actually forget it or something, apparently. So for 1 week, I would go on like 2-hour-long walks, and I would read the paragraph and then try to say it out loud, and then read it and say it out loud. Then I'd go to the next paragraph. Then I'd try to combine those. And I'd be talking out loud the whole time in Los Angeles. So it was totally fine because I looked like everyone else then. And in 1 week, I memorized the whole thing. And thank God I did, because the teleprompter broke on everyone that day. And my first girl that went up did not memorize her talk, and it was a disaster.
No. Yeah. Wait, that is so wild. I do think there is merit to waiting till really close to the thing to memorize. But like you said, you need to know it. Like you should be able to give the bones of it before.
Yes, for sure.
But I think if you have it in your brain for too long, you can actually start to think about it too much. And you're like, wait, was I supposed to say smoothing second skin swim or ultra smooth? Like, do you know what I mean? And you've done it 60 times at that point, but that's so smart. Wait, so what happened? Could they air the girl who didn't have, no?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God.
No, I know. It was, yeah. So that definitely, she went first. And she was so nervous, like, and the teleprompter broke, and she took her shoes off on stage while up there, and then just kind of said, like, I don't know where to go from here. So you guys, she recovered. She's fine. She's great. But like, things happen. So
yeah.
So try to record it. And we all know that was for her journey as well. I'm sure she's doing fantastic now. Yeah. So anyway, well, I love that. I love, like, I feel like bringing people on this podcast to, like, knowing those super intense moments they're just such breakthrough moments for your life. What would you say is just like, how are you different on the other side of that? You personally, who you are as a woman, a founder, all of it.
Yeah. I just had so many limiting beliefs about myself. Like, I just wasn't the type of person who could get this or get that, or, oh, this would happen, but there would certainly be a catch, or things like that. And I just don't think that way anymore. Like, that entire experience rocked that for me. That whole belief system of like, yeah, I'm just going to have to, like, accept that that'll never happen for me because I'm not the type of person that happens to. Like, that was my whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just gone.
So good. You have to do the big, scary thing. Like, you have to dive, no pun intended. You have to dive into the Shark Tank, literally.
Yes.
Because look how transformational that is for you. And I have no doubt that you will be insanely successful. You already are because of that, because you know now that you can do anything. And I think those moments are pivotal. Instead of resisting it and avoiding it, like we all want to, like starting to have the motto of head first. Like you got to go head first, dive in. If you see it, take a dive, because it's going to get you to where you need to go. So I'm so grateful for you. And I want people to go check out your brand because it's absolutely incredible. It's beautiful. Not only is it beautiful, but it also fits you amazing. It's going to make you feel so freaking good. And while it's still summertime, which by the way, I'm in California, Texas, Arizona, all of you still need all of your swimwear. And I know all you girlies take vacations and want all the content. So this is the cutest stuff ever. All right. And I know you're going to give them a special little gift with it too. So tell us where to go and what you have for us.
Absolutely. And thanks for the plug, Lori. Yeah. So it's onewithswim.com. And if you use code Lori25, we're giving 25% off to podcast listeners, which we do not do often. So hop on this deal if you want to get your swimsuits that fit like underwear. It's a good one.
You guys, they literally do not do this. So it's like just go and grab it. Like get off the podcast right now, go follow her and go pick out your swimsuit and truly like tag us. I want to see it. I want to know. We're your typical girls. We need to know what you got.
Absolutely. No, I find most everything through podcasts. So I would love to see anyone who picks up OneWith because of this podcast, because I just think it's such like an enriched way to find out about people and things, So it's like, I don't know, I just find it to be such a cool thing to know, like when people listen to the story, like played out in full and decide to get the product. I just think it's so cool.
Here's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing Earn Your Happy listeners. You book that little vacay or a little getaway, or you go out back by your pool if you have one, and you're listening to this podcast in your swimsuit that was 25% off, looking so cute, and you tag us, and I want to see it.
I love it. We're visualizing, Lori.
Yes. No, I truly manifesting that I get this photo. Who's it going to be? I want to get it. I want to get it 10 times. Who's it going to be?
I'm so excited to see this because it will play out. It just will.
It's going to happen. There's no way with the two of us who love this stuff that it's not going to happen. So I'm so grateful for you. Again, say it again where we can follow. And you guys, I'm putting her link to the website in the show notes below with the coupon code. So you can just scroll down, go check it out and click. But where can we follow online?
Absolutely. Our main platform is Instagram. So OneWith Swim. We're also on TikTok, OneWith Swim, onewithswim.com, OneWith Swim everything. And yes, thank you for having me on, Lori. Like this was an amazing opportunity to be able to talk with you and like someone who gets the visualizing, the manifesting and just like getting your mindset right in relation to your business, I think is so important. And I really hope that this was able to help people today.
Yay! I loved it. Well, you guys, make sure you go follow, click the links, and until next time, earn your happy. Bye, everyone.